So the first one is this idea of being clear on why. I think Shelley basically alluded to this a little bit when she mentioned, the reason, the clarity of vision, the reason for existence. I think at a retailer level, that's one thing, but also what's happening is how retailers use their brick and mortar stores as part of their overall retail strategy is evolving. And they're changing from these standalone profit and loss centers, glorified stock rooms where people come to buy stuff, to having a much more multifunctional, richer contribution to their overall business model. So I just wanted to kind of go around the horn and get your perspectives. Rebecca specifically, speaking to the Warby Parker experience, I would probably slot them here as, maybe perhaps the showrooms and service hubs, but if you could speak to both, what you're seeing at Warby and perhaps some of your other experiences as to the evolving role of the store, I think that'd be useful for us.
Sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of discussion about, certainly in the showrooming, that stores don't have to sell anything anymore. And that, Warby certainly built their model on the home try-on, which folks still do. And that the store is something that, certainly is also a sales floor, but that really helps the home try-on program and just really boosts it so that you have more support there for that. And then also convenience. Maybe you're not a home try-on person. So there's certainly that component. And obviously there have been a lot of brands that have continued to follow that. Bonobos certainly has done a great job. And I'd also say there's this component where I think there's still lots of business to be done. And there's been a lot of back and forth about whether they're here to stay. But a lot of big brands and a lot of CPG brands doing pop-ups and really, you're not buying anything when you go in, you're going in to experience them. And so they've really pivoted to have a great experience with us. Hopefully it makes you, go out and want to buy it. But a few of them have really just been purely the experience. Others, certainly you're able to kind of create something while you're there and you do actually have a transaction.
I think the other piece is, I know I already kind of talked about the clarity of vision, but I think one thing that a lot of retailers really need to kind of look within themselves is having the proper hierarchy in place that allows them to have this clarity of vision. So traditional retailers have always been, very hierarchical, and they have lots of levels and silos of people really going after, the e-com business, the mobile business, the social media, and it's always been run by different functions. And other companies like Warby Parker, who is like the gold standard, has really put together a comprehensive, digital strategy that seems to be, at least from an outsider looking in, it's very much about everyone being, on the same page and have one grand, vision of clarity.
Yeah, I think one thing I'd add to that is, I think when we look at which brands are being very successful and demonstrating that they're very clear on the why, it also permeates the culture within the brand, right? It's almost, there's a strategy, but you can also tell that it's almost, said another way, right? They've broken down those silos that you were mentioning, Shelley, right? They don't have this distinction between all those different areas anymore. And it flows through the entire culture so that everyone is clear on why and has that clarity, knows what the brand represents. And I think that then flows through to what the customers see of the brand, and customers are looking for that today.
You're all well stated again. And I think the point we're all trying to make really is from an in-store digital experience investment, being clear on why, being clear on the role of your store will actually drive what experiences you prioritize, what experiences do you invest in, and how you judge them. Because continuing to judge the success or failure of your in-store digital experiences through a more traditional lens of valuing your stores, you may either get some false positives or you may, get certain investments that really aren't moving the needle for your business.